likes when I do the little mango trick, which is to peel it around a cup. Huh?
Yeah.
So you just take it, if you've never seen this before, which I'm sure that a lot of you have, but you just take it around the rim of the cup like that, and it just slides right off. And you get some mango juice at the bottom, which he really likes. It just slides off so easy that way. Welcome back to the vlog. If this is your first time watching, I'm Kimmy and I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm about to do my skincare. Now that we're getting into like the cooler months, more drier months, I'm going back to just oil cleansing and then just washing my face at night, like 1 to 2 times a week, but I'm just doing like a single oil cleanse in the morning and then a double oil cleanse at night. I use the Sea Buckthorn Best Skin Ever cleanser moisturizer, and I'll just do like 2 squirts of this. I will massage it into my skin, and normally I would gua sha right now and then wipe it off, but because my kids are already awake, usually I do my skincare before they wake up, so we're gonna skip that part today just to keep things quick. I slept in a little bit today. I haven't been getting up at like my usual like 5 something. I've been doing that the past few months and I was loving it, and then recently I just kind of started setting my alarm for a little bit later, which kind of shortens my routine, but it's fine. I just prioritize longer workouts and then like a shorter, like quick meditation and just like my gratitude journal, and that's kind of like all that I'll do before they wake up. But today I only had time for a 20-minute workout because I slept in and I didn't get anything else done in my routine. Then I'll just take like a cloth and I will kind of use like circular motions. And so I started doing this, it was like last February, and oil cleansing, and it completely cleared up my dry skin. My skin dries out so quickly in water, and I just find it to be so much more moisturized when I oil cleanse. So that's why I'm kind of going back to it. And then like twice a week at night, I will wash and kind of do like a deep clean with like my usual cleanser and then exfoliate, and I'll do that like 2 times a week. And then I'll just put on my regular skincare, my serums, moisturizer or whatnot. But today we have no plans. I feel like today is a very like typical day for us. We don't have anything going on today. Last week I feel like we did something like, was it last week? We did something like every single day. I was getting like very burnt out because we just did so much. We are going somewhere today. I forgot that I promised that last night. We're going to the craft store to get craft supplies. But we don't have any like activities planned today, which is nice. So I feel like this is a very like typical day other than going to the store to go get crafts. Yeah, I feel like we've been like very busy lately, which has been really fun, but then it's also nice to just be home and have like nothing planned and kind of just like days like this. So I forgot that things aren't open before 9 o'clock, so we're gonna go for our morning walk, and then after lunch we'll go to the craft store to get crafts. I feel like everything should just be open at 8 just because, you know, selfishly as a mom, I just want to be able to go to stores at 8 in the morning and, you know, but nothing is ever open until like 9:30. Anyway, that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna go for our walk and then we'll go out later. On a very, very long walk, which I wasn't planning on going for a long walk, but Gavin took us around on his bike. Now we're having a little morning snack. So I have this oat and seed bread that I made. It's not a sandwich bread. It's great for like avocado toast or like a peanut butter toast. It's not my full recipe. I did make some substitutions with what I had, but there's like hemp seeds in here, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, oats, and then like to kind of bind it, to get it to be more of a bread, I used, I think it's pronounced psyllium husk. This is my last piece, so I'm gonna have to make more soon. I store it in the freezer, and then whenever I want just like a nutrient-rich snack or something, I'll have this. But anyway, so I'm just doing some peanut butter, and then just an easy little snack. You could do like honey if you wanted, but yeah, it's easy and it's dairy-free. I believe, I am pretty positive that it's egg-free as well. So next time I make it, I'll write down the recipe and I'll share it. But again, it's not my full recipe. I went off of other recipes that I saw online and they come up pretty good. So if you just search like oat and seed breads, so many recipes come up and they're actually pretty good. But like I said, they're not a sandwich bread. Like I wouldn't make a sandwich out of this, but it's great for like a peanut butter avocado toast. We just got our Thrive Market order in, and I feel like I never get to show you guys grocery hauls. They are very far and few between because I just never get them in on the day that I film. But we love our Thrive Market order. This is such a great way to save money while shopping for healthier items. I love it because it just makes the shopping process so much easier. I've been using this for like 8 years. When we first moved out to Arizona, we got a membership and it saved us so much money since then. I think that it says on my app that I've saved like $11,000 since I started using this. Instead of buying this full price from the store, everything is discounted and they do sales all the time. And I do have a discount code that will get you, I'll put up here how much you'll save, and you also get a free gift as well on your first purchase. So when you become a member, you will get that discount, and it's such a great way to discover like new healthier products, and also just a great way to save money in general, especially as a parent trying to give my kids healthier snack options. They're so expensive at the store, but on the Thrive Market app, it's so much cheaper, like so much cheaper. And because they do extra sales, it's cheaper. Let me show you what I got. The kids love these. They literally go crazy for these Puffworks. They love them as a snack. Gavin still loves them even though they're the baby ones. They do have adult ones too that are really good. And our dates, these are like the best dates. They're just so soft and fresh. They're so good. Sprouted almonds. These are the best like snacking almonds. I love those. I want to do some more. Gavin's already dug into them. I want to do some roasted almonds with like rosemary and sea salt. Cashews for cashew milk and sauces. We do a lot of cashew-based sauces for dairy-free sauces. Crackers. I love these sun-dried tomato basil, and then the organic everything seed flour crackers. This is new. I don't do gluten a ton, but I'm okay with it in moderation. And I'm excited to try this sourdough pasta. I've been seeing so many people using this and I'm excited to try this. Himalayan sea salts refill. This is our favorite peanut butter. It is a little pricey, but I feel like since I've had this one, I can't go back to other ones. Toothpaste, you can get like household stuff there as well.
Is this for me?
And then coconut flour. I want to make some Twix bars for Halloween and I need coconut flour for it, so I got this. And it's a pretty small haul, but these are some essentials. We also got the farmhouse cheddar crackers from Simple Mills. These are like, if you want like a healthier alternative to like something like Cheez-Its, this is great. They're a great alternative to Cheez-Its. We do just like a little bit of dairy, not very much. I feel like I was kind of on like a dairy kick and I've kind of relaxed a little bit with that. I put the boys down for a nap, but of course, no one's asleep yet. I'm very thankful that they just kind of let me put them in their rooms, and then, you know, no one causes a fuss. They kind of just fall asleep on their own. But I thought this would be the perfect time to chat about, I guess like, just like updates recently. So, and I was kind of like, do I even need to like talk about this? But I feel like I want to, just because I feel like when you go on the internet, it is so easy to get influenced. I get influenced, I feel like, very easily by just things I see online, whether it's clothes, a wellness habit that you feel like you have to commit to, or like a way of eating. This high protein diet is like everywhere. It feels like it's just like in my face all the time, and I feel like maybe that's why I kind of went through like the change that I'm about to like share. But so anyway, I just for like a little background, if you don't know me, I became a vegetarian when I was 13, so that was like 20 years ago. And I was vegetarian. I still ate eggs, but I didn't eat any seafood or like meat or anything. I still ate dairy and eggs. And then since then, like my diet shifted a little bit. I was like vegan for a while, and then a few years ago I decided to add in fish again. I had gone through periods where I didn't eat it at all, and then now I kind of consume it like here and there once in a while as I'm like craving it and feeling it. I feel like I've kind of got away from being like fully restrictive. Sometimes I do feel called to go back to like being fully plant-based, and I do feel really good when I do that. I feel like my body just like, I don't know, sometimes I just feel really good and energized when I am fully plant-based. But so anyway, so recently I just feel like dinner has been so hard. And I feel like I kind of talked about this on some vlogs, that I was kind of like struggling with dinner, what to make. I feel like dinner time was just kind of hard, and putting together a meal late in the day has just been difficult for me. And I kind of feel like the kids like weren't eating my dinners. I feel like they just like weren't loving things, and I felt like I wasn't really loving things either. And I also started like questioning, like, so my husband eats meat, but I don't, and I feed the kids like what I eat. I felt like he was always cooking like his protein separate, which has never been a big deal, but now that there's like 4 of us and we do want more kids in the future, I just feel like, is this sustainable where we're cooking like 2 separate proteins plus like our main meal? And then on top of that, because of the high protein thing, I started worrying, am I even getting enough protein in? Like, are we eating enough protein? I started just like worrying about just so much, and which sounds ridiculous because I've never had an issue with like a lack of protein. I've never, you know, and I think when I hear a lot of like experts talk, like no one is really, it's very rare to see someone that is truly deficient in protein. But I feel like I just always hear these people talk about high protein, how their lives have changed by eating high protein. Anyway, I convinced myself that I needed to add in meat, and I wasn't okay with adding in beef or pork or anything, but I told myself that it would be okay if we did poultry, and it would probably make things easier. Like I could do one pot meals and we could all eat the same thing, and whatever. So I tried it, and at first I was like, oh, this is like really good. I kind of just took out, I became a vegetarian for like the ethical reasons, and I kind of just like, you know, flushed that out of my mind. I wouldn't think about like, you know, where it came from. And like a week later, I just couldn't anymore. I was like, this is just not for me. There's no like moral to this story or anything. It's just, I wanted to just share that I tried it and it doesn't work for me. And there are so many like anti-vegans out there, anti like plant-based. There's even like, I read something recently on like tofu, and how like there's people that are like anti-tofu. They think it's just so bad for you. And you know what, maybe there are some flaws to it, whatever. But I prefer that way of eating better. I feel so much better about it in my mind, and you know what, I feel good in my body too when I do. So yeah, I just wanted to share that that's something that I kind of just like dealt with recently. And I feel like when it comes to like dinner time and making dinner easier and just like enjoyable, I feel like you just have to like try new things. Look at cookbooks, search on Pinterest, just find new ideas. I do feel like I just want like one pot meals, and I feel like a lot of the one pot like vegan recipes, like plant-based, because that's what I cook, and I wouldn't really cook like a one pot fish dish. I feel like they are all kind of like repetitive and the same. So I feel like you really have to like look around, and I feel like I've just been kind of playing around with like more one pot dishes that we all enjoy, and also like figuring out ways to make it more enjoyable so the kids want to eat it. The other thing with like meat was I thought that it was going to be like this good idea, but the kids hated it. So it was like kind of like pointless. They wouldn't even touch it. They wouldn't eat it. So I was like, well, great. Now we're not getting in any protein and no one's eating it. So it just felt ridiculous. And anyway, I'm glad that I tried it and kind of got it out of my system and learned that that is like so not for me. And I am okay with like a little dairy here and there. I feel like I was kind of like in a milk in my coffee phase for a while and like eating Greek yogurt, but I do really enjoy how plant-based foods make me feel. Now, I do feel like since adding dairy back in and adding eggs back in, I feel like I'm just less restrictive, and that kind of feels good, because then when we're going out to eat or something, it doesn't feel like I have to be like questioning the menu or asking the waiter like, what exactly is in this or something. I just feel like that kind of just makes me feel a little bit better. I guess like the moral of the story is that like, careful when you're online. It really can be so easy to be influenced into everything, including like changing your diet when there was nothing wrong with how we were eating before. I did not need to change how we were eating, and especially going against something that I believe in personally, I feel like there was just no need. I'm about to start prepping dinner. I always prep dinner at like 4 o'clock, and then we eat at like 4:30, 4:45. Talking about making dinner easy, I'm utilizing my pressure cooker. So I have the Instant Pot. So sometimes we'll do the slow cooker, and then some nights I'll do the Instant Pot method, the pressure cooker setting, because it just makes things so much easier and faster. So I'm gonna do just a one pot dish. So I have some brown rice soaking. I like to do that and cooks better, and it also helps to, or the water will absorb some of the toxins that rice will absorb. Do that. I'm gonna do a can of garbanzo beans, and then I have a little bit of quinoa. So we're gonna do that. It's not gonna make like a huge batch or anything. I'm gonna do carrots, celery, some red onion, and a clove of garlic. And at the end, I'm gonna toss in some peas while it's hot. Maybe like cook it for like 1 minute or something. And then I'll do some vegetable broth. So it's not gonna be quite like a soup. It'll kind of just be like a one pot meal with like soupy vibes, I guess. And for seasoning, I'm gonna do dried oregano and dried basil and salt and pepper. And that'll be it. I'll show you when it's all done. Decided to make some garlic bread, which I've never ever done. So I had some sourdough in the freezer, and then I just whisked up some olive oil, salt, and some garlic powder. And yes, it's gonna go in the oven. It's gonna be nice and toasty. And I would have loved to do like roasted garlic and like rub that on, but this is what we're doing today. So I'm gonna pop this in the oven for a few minutes. I don't know how to make this, so I'm just gonna watch it. Probably just like a few minutes. I haven't done this in a while. I haven't made my own broth in a while. I usually do, because it's literally so easy. You just boil it with water on the stove and then strain it. Still have a stash in the freezer. And all of this goodness can go in here. So I'm gonna try and squeeze some in, and then I'm really gonna try and make a broth really soon. So you can do like the onion peels, the garlic peels, celery, carrots, and then you just boil it for simmer it for a while on the stove, and then you strain it, and you'll have like the most delicious broth. So you just throw all the scraps in. I haven't done it in a while, but it's so much better than store-bought broth. We love store-bought broth because it's easy, but making broth is also easy. So I'm gonna try and actually put everything in so it doesn't feel like we're wasting very much, which is really nice. And just like that, it is the end of the day. We made it. I'm gonna shower and wind down for the night. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I enjoyed hanging out with you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.